Paul Flowers, Chief Design Officer at GROHE. Holy shit. And I don't swear about offer. What the hell have you done here? This is incredible. This magical architectural installation here in an old theatre in Milan. Built, I believe, well, I know I've seen the evidence. I saw a time-lapse video this morning.
Yeah,
Constructed within 72 hours.
yeah.
Where are we? What is this? How did you pull it off?
Wow. Well, thanks, Simon. Always a pleasure to talk. Always. So this was a real challenge. So first of all, what we do each year, we choose a we don't just like come to Milan and exhibit, but we actually choose a position or a building of architectural significance. So this year, of course, like you said, we're in the Piccolo Teatro, which is Studio Melato. So it's a really important theatre, dear to my heart. It's based on the Globe in London, actually. So it's a Shakespearean theatre as well. They have lots of Shakespeare here and different plays. But what we do is when we select an environment like this, then we start the design process because we want to do it, significant or make this significant architectural building or cultural hub like a theatre.
Site specific.
Relevant, yeah, and really create around it. So this gave us the opportunity to be inside, so we could really start to interplay with lighting, which for the GROHE SPA brand, which we're exhibiting here this year, it's really important because when you think of spa and well-being and relaxation, lighting plays a really important role. Many of the other kind of stimuli, but lighting's really important for us. And so this we've built, like you said, in 72 hours. So we had to factor that into the design process, as well as all the sanctums and projects and products that you see.
I mean, it's amazing. What strikes me first of all, that when you're outside, it reads as a theatre. I mean, it's on the front elevation.
Yeah.
Storytelling is baked into this place, and you've done this in spades here with this particular concept.
Well,
I mean, you have these various sanctums, sancta is that the plural in Latin?
Sanctum's good.
Sancta sounds a bit snobby. Sanctums.
Yeah.
And I mean, there's real narrative running throughout this.
Yeah, I think, look, the narrative is really important, storytelling, and obviously we're in a theatre. So again, just to, let's say, to take inspiration from the theatre, we wanted to create a space that told a story, that entertained, that took you on a journey, an immersive journey. So we've created these 3 sanctums to really talk about, from Sanctum 1, talk about technologies that we have and using the latest technologies, all the way, transitioning through into materials, how we apply materials and we connect with humans, through wellness and highlighting water in every single element, till we come to the 3rd sanctum, which really is about looking at the height of the theatre. We have animations which really bring humanity to that space. And then, of course, these elements and products in the back, which are, which in themselves, these 3 areas that we created: relaxation, rejuvenation, preparation. And those areas really, you interface with water in a very different way. And this is really about a story about water and celebrating water.
And that's what the effect on visitors here. You're talking. I mean, it's in Latin on the front here, just behind us.
Yes, Salus per Aquam. And that's what spa means. Spa means
wellness through water.
Yeah.
And you're really trying to create a sense of this here for visitors in real time, in an analog way.
Yeah. Yeah. And what you said there is actually really, really important. What we tried to do is here, you won't see lots of fancy screens. So even the projections are on fabric. We wanted to humanize this entire experience. We wanted to keep it very analog in a digital world, of course, which is incredibly important. We wanted to create connection and emotion.
I mean, from a technical point of view, from a constructional technical point of view, mixing water with artificial lights,
yeah,
and it in a very short space of time,
yeah,
it's not easy. How did you do that? How pre-prepared were you?
Yeah, it's a real challenge, like you say, and we need to challenge ourselves because Milan it's filled with amazing exhibitions, and it's really great for the team, the creative team, to really try to create something that we can not only be proud of, but people want to prioritize and be going to some of the other events. So so we wanted to use, like you say, light and technologies like we see behind us.
Tell us about this.
Okay, so this is the aqua tree, and this literally is, we're not molding to create a product like this. We're literally 3D printing. So we're using this, let's say, this inspiration from nature. We're growing this product. That means you choose forms that you could never do in traditional production techniques. It means it's the most organic expression. You know, if you look into each of the branches of the tree, we have inside cross section, we have areas for the wires, for the cables of the lighting and water to separate them out. It's very technical, but it's very beautiful, and it's biophilic. It comes with the aqua tree, aqua vine, and we really wanted to take the most challenging forms that you find in nature to show the technology that we can bring, and of course the design expertise.
It's stunning. I mean, you told me before we started this conversation, you actually then 3D printed the cradle to hold it during transportation.
Yeah, I think it's all the thing that's great that, you know, the behind the scenes stuff that people don't really logistically to create this place. It's not just we're creating an amazing environment that's technically difficult, but also we have to build that in 72 hours. So then the team have to design something that can be built in 72 hours. It's the same with something like this. You know, this is the ultimate expression. We call this tier 1. So this is a one of one. We can build this to 3D printing, so we could create for individuals a product that is totally bespoke. But the logistics of just getting something like this vision to reality, even shipping it here, like you said, we can't just design the product. We have to invent the transportation method. So we had to design 3D print all of these support mechanisms along all the branches and everything to ensure it gets here safely and obviously, and so it can be shown.
This is a very clear and very cogent statement about what GROHE can do beyond a serial production, beyond that you can work on that real customization, individual level. I know customization and personalization are words that you see much more in the vocabulary, in the discourse around GROHE, and this is something which is absolutely critical for discerning architects and specifiers these days.
Yeah, it's a real macro trend. I mean, obviously people want to feel like they're individuals. The challenge to organizations like ours who mass produce products for really high quality is how do we respond to that? So in Sanctum 2, we have some really nice examples of how we customize, and that's, you know, through materials, that's through collaborations with amazing brands like Buster and Punch, where we bring together our products and theirs in exactly the same finishes, which architects really love, whether that's infusing Caesar stone into the handles, so it infuses into the architecture of the building, what we call aquitecture, bringing those together, or material expressions that we have. You have that kind of level of customization in the brand now, but you also have this level of personalization, which is, it becomes art. It's one of one. And here, like I said, we've expressed, let's say, our skills as creatives and as a company in manufacturing, but that equally could be commissioned piece from an architect or an individual to create something that would be their vision. And that's what that's showing. As you say, it's showing growers and grower spas commitment to quality, technology, design, and sustainability.
Yeah. What's happening in the do you want to kind of just in brief tell us about the other sanctums?
Sure.
Further on, let's maybe pick your favorite and tell us why.
Sure. So the GROHE SPA Aqua Sanctuary really is a sanctuary of these 3 sanctums. 1 we're sitting in, 2, like I said, materials, collaboration, Buster and Punch. The 3rd sanctuary is really about, it's a couple of things really, but it's first of all to celebrate those 3 zones. So the preparation zone, you know, where you're interfacing with water, relaxation zone, it's a bathtub, but we don't just create a bathtub. What we've created is this kind of celebration of materials and platforms. It's based off one of our collections that we call Allure Gravity. And Allure Gravity was inspired by Frank Lloyd Wright's Falling Waters.
I know.
And so you see all those elements.
And unprompted, I said this to one of your team when I saw them recently. I said, God, that reminds me of Frank Lloyd Wright. And they went, yeah, we know.
That's incredible. Okay. Well,
I thought I was the first person to
that's amazing. And that's always great to hear, right? Because if you look at that product, if you look at the exhibition around the bathtub, and even before you get to it, we've created, which is part of the exhibition, there's like a water tray that this thing beautifully sits in. And that's really a nod to spirituality, where you pass over water like a bridge on your way as you transition to water. And so we've done these kind of small symbolic elements within that whole area. And then, of course, you've got rejuvenation. We have a huge shower zone. And something I'm really excited about for the first time is now we're projecting onto these fabrics around those zones, how people interface with water. And there's like I said, a humanity to that. There's There's something ethereal to that, which is really beautiful.
Growers talked in the past about water being a transformative architectural element. That sounds great, but say a bit more about it. What's that actually mean, and
What does that
can it
mean?
be,
Yeah.
how can it be that?
Well, just think. Okay, just when you and I sat down, you spoke about sitting here. You feel like you're in Bali, so it kind of transforms you nostalgically to an element and experience
Right.
that you encountered in the past, and that brings an emotion and a feeling, and that's what water does. So water, in its sense, can have that nostalgic transformation, but also the different types of water. So here we have water that you're applying to your skin. And also in the brands, we have, water like you see in the vanity we have on the side, that's filtered water. So even water that when you brush your teeth and you put the water against your skin, it's filtered from chlorines and microplastics and all those things, which one would expect in beauty and well-being and healthcare. And then as you transition to the final sanctum, like we said, it's how you interact with water in a shower is very different to how you interact with water in a bathtub. So that relaxation versus regeneration or rejuvenation. One, the rejuvenation, the shower wakes you up in the morning, whereas the relaxation zone, the bathtub, is all about relaxing you after a hard day. So they're really transformative. And the power of water, of course, we know that obviously it makes up most of our body chemistry, and we are drawn as humans to water. We're drawn to the sound of water. And it has a passive beauty, even when we're not consuming it in one way.
Yeah, and it always seems to go back to I think the Germans call it the claim, the kind of slogan, the joy through pure Freude and stuff.
Yeah.
So pure joy of water.
Yeah. So obviously, Grohe Spa is a sub brand of Grohe, and the Grohe brand claim is really pure Freude an Wasser, pure joy of water. And everything we do and we express through design is about celebrating water. If you think of pure joy of water, and the Spa is our premium brand, but could you think of a more expressive, beautiful, joyful way to celebrate water than something like this? And that's what we're always pushing ourselves really, and trying to really every year just incrementally improve on, is how can we bring that joy of water to all the people around the world that buy our products.
That's a noble and beautiful ambition, I would say. And Paul, I've been to your house.
Yes, you have.
Professionally. No, we didn't just, and I did announce, so I didn't just turn up.
You didn't turn
I'm
up.
not
You
a
were very
stalker.
welcome. You were welcome. Yeah.
To
And
your-
actually, all your team.
To your beautiful house in the Cotswolds, which is actually situated on a lake. And we talked quite a bit about kind of ritual and daily
Yeah.
ritual. And why do you think it's important to you? Why do we feel like we need more ritual in our daily lives now?
I think so. Look, we live in a world which is so uncertain, right? So if you look politically, it's uncertain. If you look at the intrusion of technology in our lives and AI, and AI is a very powerful, amazing tool. But all of these elements that let's say they add pressure onto us as humans, we need to alleviate that pressure in one way or another, and we need to take time for ourselves, and we need to do that through lots of things, through nutrition. We need to do that through sleep, and we need to do that through exercise. But one of the areas that we really, and that plugs very nicely into the GROHE Spa brand, is we also need to do that through well-being.
Right.
And well-being is really important, and people really need to take time out and spend more time for themselves. We often say that kitchen is we, it's communal, but bathroom is me. It's the only room in the house with a lock on the door. It really is a personal sanctuary. So we really want to encourage people and inspire architects and designers, show them what you can do within that sanctuary to really be conducive to well-being and relaxation.
Well, I mean, we're here in this fantastic sanctuary. We're not alone, though. You're not alone. I'm not alone. It's absolutely packed. By the time this film goes out, it'll be over. It's an ephemeral thing, but the spirit will continue. I think you and the team have done a really incredible job in communicating not only the growers' values and its proposition on a product level and in terms of the experience it wants to deliver, but also just creating a space that's quite magical.
Oh, thank you. I mean, it's really kind. And look, and I know obviously you have a very discerning eye, and I know obviously you get to interact with all the great brands. And I know, of course, you've been working so hard around the Milan Design Week, traveling around, seeing everybody. So So it's a huge compliment. So we thank you to that, and also just a big thank you to our team. There's so many people behind something like this. You know, we need the management team to really have the confidence to invest in this. We need all of the people in our factories who work tirelessly to help us build these things and these prototypes. And we need the marketing team to communicate this. This really is a huge element,
100%.
which is a cultural element, which I think these events are so powerful because they bring the companies together and they galvanize their culture. And GROHE SPA have a real creative culture, a real design-led culture, and we're very proud of that.
It's you can tell it's seeping out of the pores of the whole team here.
Yeah, thank
Paul,
you.
thanks so much. Let's go and have a shower.
Amazing. Let's do it.